Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So we are going to get into, I guess, what I will call an urgent specific message. In my mind's eye, there was somebody that was getting a piece of mail that was like really important. And it seemed like it was a letter, like a mailbox mail kind of thing, but it was like something that they weren't going to want to miss. And it was potential that this person like wasn't going to check their mailbox for too many days in a row and it was going to be late or delayed or something. So I don't know how this is going to go yet, but let's just take a look. We're going to start out with the Lenormand deck. Okay, so we have the anchor and we have the bridge. There is something here about somebody maybe needing to be grounded, needing to take their time on something, but definitely if this could be like an opportunity that like to bridge a gap, or maybe it's like a card or something coming in the mail, maybe it's going to be something like that where a character like needs to be more step-by-step process this week and make sure that they pick up the mail, they open up on the mail, make sure that they open up their emails and their spam folders and be diligent about take things one step at a time, don't miss any beats, making sure that all documents are signed properly, all things are opened properly, all things are read thoroughly. Don't skip over a text or something, or just gloss over it. It's like do things with like gravity this week and pay close attention, because opportunities to cross bridges, build bridges, mend bridges, whatever this is. Maybe somebody lives near a bridge. Maybe it's also like, hey, be mindful of driving. Bridges are not places to have careless driving, because it backlogs everybody and it's a little more dangerous. So I know it just says be methodical in this next week. Hi, everyone. So great to see you all. Lots of love, you guys. Happy Sunday. By the way, if you guys are looking for any of the zodiacs, I've done all 12 zodiacs. The only one that I'm missing is Cancer, and I'm going to do Cancer on this channel right after this, okay? But all the other 12 zodiacs all got a video today. So the owls here talk about communication, but sometimes it can be like gossipy communication. So there could be like something that's going to, I don't know, it's either somebody got advice from, because sometimes owls represent like two older women that are like wise women, or sometimes gossipy women. But if somebody sat down and they got advice from an individual that said, you know what, reach out to that person, mend those bridges with them, that could be, I almost feel like somebody says, take it from us. We're older, because like I said, the owls are usually elders. I wonder if we have a character who talked to whatever, grandparents, elders that they work with, whatever it is, and they weighed in, and the elders said, you should take it from us. We're older, we've lived more life, and we know that the things that you regret are the things that you let close, that you didn't want closed. Don't do that. This is, we have the coffin here, and we have Anubis on this card. And Anubis in Egyptian mythology is, the dog-headed god of the underworld. And he is responsible for looking at our actions and determining, and he hopes that we have enough good merits to help us, tip the scales in our favor, so that we can go ahead and, transfer into the next, like plane of life. He's kind of sometimes looked at as like this fear, like, oh, he's going to shame you and decide if you're naughty or nice, but it's not really that. He's actually always like on the side of the soul that is being weighed and measured to, say, okay, what are your merits? Does that warrant you moving and transferring into the next step? So I think that there's this energy of like, don't be scared about what the outcome might be. Just do your best. So if you need to talk to somebody, send that message. And it feels like that is maybe what's prompting somebody to go ahead and reach out and try to mend fences. And the thing is, this will only work if the person who's trying to be mended fences with receives the message. So I think that's why there's like a burden placed upon both sender and recipient. Like, make sure that if something of great gravitas is coming into our lives, make sure that we're aware and alert and not sleepwalking through our week. But then on the side of the person who's actually sending this message of great gravity, they seem to be doing something that, like, it means a great deal. This is not a small thing in the measure of their lifespan. This trying to mend a fence is not a small thing. This means a great deal to them in the big scheme of their life, especially if they were getting counsel on this and being advised from like a very soulful place. Like, make sure that you do the best you can in his lifetime. Make sure you do the best, and try to make things work out as best they can. And we have the scythe. And the scythe says, the thing is, if this message gets missed, it could like never be found. It's kind of like it's a now or never. Sorry, I'm hearing Elvis right now. It's now or never. Come hold me tight. It feels like if this message is missed, it may never be recouped. It may never, like, the time will have passed. So this is an important week to not miss out on phone calls, messages, texts, things that, there's something really special about an opportunity to mend things or let things go completely, but probably this chance won't come back around. Can we explore that and say, why would it be that this chance wouldn't come back around? We have 8 of Swords, and she's literally sitting here with her cell phone. The 8 of Swords is stuck energy. This could also say that somebody needs to reboot their phone this week, so that, sometimes things get caught up in a K and it doesn't really come through. It's like, I don't want to miss anything. If it's stuck, like messages are stuck in a queue or something, it's not going to come through. So you have to say, okay, let me check. Let me make sure that that I haven't missed anything this week. Let me restart my phone, and then messages, fill in. There could be something about, if she does receive a message and chooses not to respond, then it's like, okay, I'm the reason that I'm letting this go. So it's a conscious decision. And now I can say, I don't want to mend that bridge, and I'm fine with it, and I can move on. But if a message is missed and is only found out much later on, the opportunity could be over, because somebody will say, okay, I tried, but they didn't want to reach out to me. So now I just move on. And, this is the end of this chapter. Is it? I mean, here's the thing. It wouldn't be the end of the world if a message is missed and people move on. Their lives will continue. But it's always kind of better to finish the book or finish a symphony, isn't it? If there's an opportunity. Let me just ask, say these messages are received in a timely fashion. Is there going to be amending offenses? Is that possible? 4 of Swords. There's definitely a lot to think about. We have a feminine who may need to, take a half a day off and go sit and, digest what this means. It kind of is hinting right now that it could be a message that will be received by a feminine, sent by a masculine. Doesn't have to be, but she may have to sit with this information and just contemplate. I don't know if she lives in an area where there's mountains, or if she, goes outside to take a walk or something and clear her head. But with that 7 of Wands in the reverse, she's going to fully understand this is like his attempt to clear the air with me with the 7 of Wands. This is him trying to open up dialogue or unblock things. Do I want to do that? Do I want to? And this is her thinking about it with that 5 of Wands. Let me ask this, feminine, why might you not want to mend a fence with this person? We have the Page of Cups, and we have the Queen of Pentacles sideways. I mean, for starters, it might be like, is their apology enough to make me say that I can sincerely let it go? Or do I still feel like I don't want to give to you just because now you say sorry? Why do I have to be the bigger person? You say sorry, but why'd you do the thing in the first place that either hurt me or took from me? And then on the flip side of this, it could be like, you know what? Do I want to be that person? Like, which is going to be in my best interest? Can I let this go and move on and say, I forgive them, but I don't need to say anything about it? Or will I then be the person burdened with a regret? It's almost like, damn it. Maybe it was easier to be pissed at this person. Now when they're saying sorry, now it's like the ball's back in my court. Do I receive and accept the the apology? What does that mean? What is my obligation? Am I going to be left with the regret if I do or if I don't? It's kind of like, shit, it's easier to just leave this thing ugly instead of have the chance to heal things. I don't mean that really. It's just we see her having to figure out what to do with this. She may also have to ask herself, does it make me happy? You know, am I glad? Is any part of me excited to receive this message? And if there's a part of her that is excited to receive this message, then I would just say, well, that's a good indicator then that was a nice thing to receive. So she doesn't want to miss this probably. Is this going to propel her toward, responding in kind to this person? And then we'll ask who this person is in just a minute. Hierophant, Queen of Wands. Once again, she kind of consults with her higher self. What should I do about this? Maybe she needs to sit with it, a whole night and play some cello, listen to some Yo-Yo Ma, do a little meditation, go to a yoga class, something where she needs to just kind of like ask her higher self for the answer. Do I want to respond to this, or do I just want to accept it? Do I feel like there's something more here to be said, or is this just like I can now peacefully release all of this? She has to ask her higher self. Let's go ahead and do that right now. For her higher self to respond. And again, this may take her, a day or something of sleeping on it, considering it. Let me just ask, what's her higher self got to respond with? 5 of Wands and the throat chakra. The biggest concern, her higher self says, is you're struggling with what will you say? What words would you respond with? It's not the truth of it is, it's not really, does she want to respond? Does she not? Should she let it go? Should she not? The bigger struggle is, I don't know what to say in response. Okay, that makes sense, actually. Hi, guys. Good to see everybody. We've got a Knight of Wands. There's also, again, with the throat chakra, the Knight of Wands is like, it can be scattered energy, scattered passion, scattered desire. There could also be a lot of like, if somebody is trying to mend a fence with me, how am I going to respond to them and their message that they send me? And then how am I going to go ahead and, am I ready for a dialogue about either what they've been up to, what I've been up to, things about the past, things regarding passion. Are you writing to me because you're attracted to me? Are you writing to me because you want something from me? What is the motive? What are you after here? And I think that's another thing. Like, if those are the questions that she's wondering, how do I put that into words? Do I just write back, what do you want? Or thanks for the apology. What prompted this? Or, what words is she going to use? So really her bigger concern is, I don't know what to say. It's not so much that she doesn't want to respond, is what her higher self is saying. It's more like, I don't know how I will respond. And that's where the real, inertia is coming from. Okay, can we see, who are you, character? The one who seems to be consulting with the owls, and the owls say, you should do your best. You should go ahead and try to send a message. You should do your best in this lifetime always, before it's too late, to try to course correct something. If you're still thinking about somebody and you feel like you need to mend a fence with them, do it while you can. So who are you, character? They are somebody who's been sitting here in a lot of regrets. Now, they've shown up as a masculine and now as a feminine. We've got an 8 of Swords in the reverse. We got the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. That pesky 8 of Swords shows up again. So they have a ton of regrets, and they also feel like, even though maybe there's nothing stopping them, they still feel like now it's too late. It's not the right time. What does that mean? What is your regret about? Is it that when the time was right to interact with this person, you were trapped? Now you're not trapped, but the time has already passed. Is that what the big fear is here? We have an 8 of Pentacles sideways. The work that they should have been able to put in, they didn't. Now that they could put in the work, it's not the right time. And I'm thinking that's about the relationship. Can I ask, what is the context of this? Is this a romance? Is this friendship? Is this, Okay, so we have the Tower and we have the Emperor. They kind of came out in a tilted angle, not exactly sideways, but not exactly upright. This could be business related or the love of their life. This could be the person that I wanted to marry. This could have been that they were married to this, like, Queen of Wands is what we'll call her since she showed up as a Queen of Wands. Maybe they were married to her and it's like, and that's the person that I actually wanted to be married to, and the whole thing fell apart. I wasn't present. I wasn't focused on the relationship. Or the only reason I say marriage is because of the Emperor, and oftentimes they're married. What was your relationship to her? Let's see if we can get a more Ace of Wands. So they weren't married, but it was like, I wanted so bad to pursue her. I wanted to be in a serious commitment with her. I was super passionate about her. That's what I wanted. And then nothing worked out right. Why did it not work out right? Let's just cut to the chase here. Why did it not work out right? Three of Wands. It was like, if only I met her a little bit in the future, it would have been perfect. Maybe there was distance. We see, air travel here. We see her at an airport. Maybe it was like, it's long distance. It's, if only I had met her 3 years in the future, if my career wouldn't be this, my life wouldn't be this. With the King of Swords upright, I think they cut her out of their life. I think they decided to make a clinical, surgical decision to take a scalpel and sever the connection between the two of them, because they were like, oh, this is just not going to work. I think they brought the Tower themselves. There's something here about the way he stands here, and, he's in front of the police station and he's like, making this like, hardcore like rule, and this is how it is. So I guess this just won't work. So I think he cut her out of his life because he determined it wasn't the right time. Well, then this actually makes a lot more sense if we go back to why she might be a little bit like, what the hell? So now you want to say sorry. Now I'm obligated to respond. Now I have to decide what to do because now you got off your ass and you want to say sorry to me for cutting me out of your life. So now I'm obligated to have to figure out what I'm going to say. And what the hell does that even mean? What, you're just writing me to say sorry? I feel like on one hand, she's happy to hear from them. On the other hand, it's like, what is this? What am I supposed to say in response? Oh my God. This, sometimes we get these stories where someone's deciding that they're about to reach out, but we don't ever really see this story where they actually do reach out and now the person receives it. And it's like, what on earth am I supposed to do with this? And then also seeing their motive for, like, they literally just said, I want this so much to be so serious, but it's just not going to happen right now. So I may as well just cut her out of my life. Let me go back to that and say, why would that have been your choice? I want this to work, but it can't. So I'll just cut her out of my life. 9 of Pentacles. She's amazing. Let her be free. She's the 9 of Pentacles, Oh, I think probably you don't get to make decisions for other people, but I think that's what they did. Why did you cut her out of your life for you? Instead of saying, well, see, she was amazing and she deserved to be free of me. No. I want to know, you answer for you. The World card. Hamida Bano. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Angel. Thank you so much. Hamida Bano just gifted 5 more memberships, you guys. Carrie Reed, Farrell Rust, I Am Joyful 8888, Libra here 9151, and Star Goddess 144. Welcome, everybody. All those new members, just know that tomorrow is our Members Day. So if you have time sometime between now and tomorrow when I go into the Members Corner, definitely check out the Members playlist. Click on the playlist tab, and then you'll see that there's a playlist for members. If you click on that, then you'll notice that the very first video that comes up was last week's. And the reason I encourage you to do that is because every Monday I post a new members video, but I also go through the comments in the Members Corner and I pick winners every week. And I just don't want you guys to miss out on any of the little perks. So anyway, just FYI. So why did they really do this? Not just, well, because she deserved to be free of me since I couldn't give her what she deserved, so I'll just let her be single. I asked him, why did you cut her out of your life? How was that the choice that you made for you? And it says with the World card, again, they're trying to argue, because she's on the card, that, you know, just letting this whole thing end. And then if there was ever a chance to restart it again some other time, then, you know, maybe we could start from scratch. And so that was easier for them to not think about her anymore. Was it easier for you to not think about her because you didn't want to jealously like wonder, oh my God, what if we try to stay together and then she gets mad and then she leaves me? I don't want to be left, so I'll leave her first and then just end this. But if there's ever a chance to restart it when it is workable, or when you know the situation is different and I can be present, and you know, then we can start from scratch. I mean, it seems like they were trying to preserve this for themselves if ever there could be a do-over, but they didn't want to drag it out. Knight of Swords, it's either they were too scattered and they're like, I'm not going to be able to keep up this pace of trying to give to a connection with her and do the other thing. So to me, that would say they were too scattered. And they clearly were not going to make her a priority. Why were you not making her a priority? The Fool, the Page of Pentacles, their only response to that is, I was a fool. I was an idiot. I should have made her a priority, but I wasn't. What did you make a priority instead? Was this like business related stuff? Is there something else that they Five of Pentacles sideways? They were either putting out other people's fires. They were running around to be there for everybody else instead of showing up in their own life. I don't know who this, you know, like maybe like other people in their life, family members, whatever, were, you know, going through struggles and they were like, well, I can't have a relationship with a human being because I have to be, you know, the hero to everybody who's got problems in their life. So I better rush and go help other people and, you know, screw, you know, my own personal life. I mean, that's kind of what it looks like. Like they had to go rush and help other people. And then they kept finding other people to keep rushing in to be the hero for. Let me go back and regroup for just a second and say, if this person needs to say sorry and send a message, and they feel like it's too late to do this, but the owls have suggested you need to fix what you can in this lifetime. I'm guessing then that they must, at this point in time, have felt some heavy burden, or they wouldn't be sending this letter at all. Let me just ask, where are you today? We looked at the past, but where are you right now that prompts you to write this? Boy, they still think everything about this Queen of Pentacles. This Queen of Pentacles was so loving. This Queen of Pentacles was amazing. This Queen of Pentacles is still on their mind. Okay. But, and they're even saying that I love the Queen of Pentacles. It just doesn't seem like you showed love to the Queen of Pentacles. What is so different in your life now that you would, or is anything different in your life? Do you just say, God, she was so wonderful and I owe her an apology for cutting her out of my life because I loved her and I just want to tell her that? I said, what is so different about their life? And it says they have a 3 of Cups. So I don't know if all the people they were rushing around helping are doing better now. And maybe they're happier now. 8 of Swords. It seems like everybody else that they had to go be a hero for, these, you know, like tragic characters, I don't know why, but I get that this is like family, that they felt like they have to do everything for family, even if it means casting aside their own private personal life and love story. But if they finally are like, everybody's good now, everybody's stable. And so now finally my thoughts turn back to my own life, and that Queen of Pentacles that I screwed over didn't give her an answer as to why I just cut her out of my life. And I can't stop thinking about her. So it doesn't really seem like they're doing this for her. It seems like they're doing this for them now that, I mean, keep in mind, they came out as a King of Swords, which can be a very linear thinker. So if he says, okay, here are the things in the priority of which I must take care of, and she ranked very low. So they were like, well, she goes because I got to take care of this person's needs and this person's needs and these family members' needs. Now, once those get off the plate, now she moves back up on the ranking. And now they're like, okay, next order of business, Queen of Pentacles. Oh, God loved her. She was so great. Boy, I sure didn't handle things right with her. She keeps, you know, strumming through my head. I really need to say I'm sorry to her. I don't know. It's probably too late. And then they go and they ask those owls, and the owls are like, you Anubis going to be weighing and measuring these choices you made in your life, somewhere many years from now. So you best make sure that you set things right as much as you can. It feels like we don't have, I'm looking at Anubis almost like, the Libra scales, like their karma is something that they have to face. The only thing is, are you disrupting the peace of the Queen of Pentacles? Because that's almost what it feels like, is you're putting a burden on her to now have to respond to you, give you a, hey, that's okay, or ask you, putting her in the awkward position of having to ask you, what do you want from me? Why are you doing this now? So I'm wondering if they're sending a message. And remember, the first part of this was like a very important message is coming in, not a message that a character would want to miss. But I almost half am starting to wonder, maybe she does want to miss this so she doesn't have the burden of having to deal with it. Let me go to the universe and say, why does it seem like it's such an important message not to miss, if indeed it could cause just a little bit of distress on her part? Queen of Wands, and the universe says, if she, because remember, she's been Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Wands. If she didn't know this before, she is the one in a billion. Okay. There's nobody else on this planet like her. Now, she may not feel this way. She might be like, really, I'm nobody like me on the planet, but you had that easy a time ghosting me or cutting me out of your life. Sure, I must be super special. Nobody gets ghosted like me. Like I could see her being like, But here's the thing, this message, for what it's worth, I do think we have to configure the mind of the King of Swords. There is nobody but her, okay? As far as like a romantic person, there is nobody close to her. There is nobody that stays on their mind like she does. Even though, yes, they cut her right out of their life. But the universe is saying, sweetheart, you need to know this. You are a 1 in a billion. Them reaching out to you, especially after all this time, should be proof that you're the 1 in the billion, not that you were less significant in their life, but in fact, you were the most significant thing in their life. No, they weren't there for you, but there's, when their life settles, you're the person their brain turns to. And maybe she needs to hear that. Maybe she needs to know that. Maybe if she can interpret. So, how I said at the beginning, it's as important that the person who's sending a message, is sending something with gravity as the person who receives it to receive it with gravity. How we interpret things is so important, because somebody can say words to us, but if we don't understand the words that they're saying, or if we don't interpret it in the right way, the whole message is lost. So it's not only that it's an important message to receive, the real emphasis, and I didn't know that until just now, is it's important that she gets the meaning out of this that it's supposed to land with. This is not like, ooh, don't miss this message from them. There is a message coming in, and you need to be able to read it for what it actually is. This feminine deserves to know she's a 1 in a million, or masculine, doesn't matter. This could be same-sex couple, could always be reverse gender roles. It's just we've seen a pretty consistent, like, she keeps coming up as a queen over here, so that's why I keep saying she. And we have this 8 of Swords. Again, she was always stuck in her head on, why'd they do this? Why was I, like, we have this gigantic cobra sneaking up behind her, almost like, maybe she always thought that they were like a kind of predatory toward her. And it's like, why did they do that to me? If she was always stuck, we've seen that 8 of Swords 3 times, right? Twice for her, once on their side. Oh, I'm sorry, 4 times. What am I saying? It's right there also. So twice for him, twice for her. Nobody deserves to be stuck in their heads over, why'd you do that to me? They're still not writing with an explanation per se. And indeed, maybe that explanation will never make sense to her. So you cut me out of your life because whatever, your siblings needed you, like that's not really, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. how everything in life is about juggling. Everything in life is about having more than one relationship. So I don't understand what their, extremism is. And like, I can't have a relationship if I have to do something else. I mean, you have no balance in your life, then, and life's going to be tough if you can't realize that you're always going to have to balance your love life, your personal life, your work life. Like, we have many roles that we play simultaneously in life. But I don't know. I'm not sure that they'll ever be able to do that. Maybe they're very linear. But on her side, if her big question mark was always, why did they do this to me? They seem like a snake who snuck up behind me and took from me what, to insult me and then left me high and dry. She needs to know that's not the case. And so receiving a message like this, so long as she doesn't get up in her head about it and start saying like, what? So now I have to say it's okay, even if I don't think it's okay. No. The reason for her to receive this message is simply because here's the truth of it. She was really, really important to them for what it's worth. Maybe, here's the thing. We have to remember that everybody has their frailties and their, maybe like his capacity, the King of Swords capacity to deal with life is more limited than hers is. Maybe he was on overload. Maybe he could not function at trying to have a relationship and also being pulled in different directions for people that guilted him or made him feel like he had to go help them. Maybe he truly is not capable of, like handling everything all at once. Or maybe it was too big to handle. No, maybe nobody could have handled it all at once. I don't know. I'm not cutting him much slack in this because he made such a clinical and unfeeling decision, fully hoping that later he could have a do-over with her, but not apparently giving her explanation that was satisfactory to that. And that's where I hold it against him in this story, to say she shouldn't have been made to feel like she wasn't important. And that's what she was definitely made to feel like. And we see that with the Queen of Pentacles sideways. So I'm thinking that you didn't do a very good job of explaining any of this to her. You just made a clinical decision for your comfort or for your circuit overload. And maybe that's the other part. Like, as much as he could love anybody, he loved her. But he was on circuit overload. Maybe he does not have the capacity to deal with as much as perhaps she can. That would be, a different thing to have to understand about somebody. When they max out, and then like a little robot, they shut down. They go into sleepy mode. You're not going to hear from them. They can't do any more than, 2 crises at a time. They can't also function in a romance and deal with other things on their plate. Maybe that is a limitation they have. 2 of Pentacles and 4 of Swords. This message, it comes into her, and the reason the universe is like, don't miss this message, is she finally should get to heal. And she should be able to know a truth in all of this. And if she reads it and sits with it and reads it again and sits with it and sleeps on it and reads it again, it's good that she's not thinking of reacting too quickly, but instead, asking her higher self, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? She's supposed to heal. This is a message where you notice how there's 2 versions of him here. If she thought he was juggling her with something else, or what, was he just a cheat? Was he just a player? This says there were 2 versions of him, but not a cheating version. Like I said before, maybe he can't do 2 things at once. Maybe he's not capable of doing that. He was attempting to handle his life stress and then also build a relationship, and he couldn't do it. The juggling of trying to keep a relationship and a personal life going, as well as handling, crises that he was, helping other people with, he couldn't do it. It still doesn't mean it was fair that she got the short end of the stick, but in some ways, if the big message here is let yourself heal, let yourself realize this. Don't look for an ulterior message or reason that he did this. Don't look for an ulterior motive as to why is he sending me this message? Is it to hurt me further? No, it's because you're freaking important to him, as much as his actions didn't show it. Heal. Let this heal you. There's a reason he's reaching out to you. There's a reason you stay on his mind. It's because you're freaking important. So let that be something that soothes your heart instead of hurts it. Don't look for the insult. And also, I don't know that there's any obligation for her to do anything with this. If she doesn't want to deal with him, she doesn't have to. But universe, what is the best advice to her? Queen of Cups. Okay, we do have her on the phone. I'm not going to say that it's to him, but if anything, if she could, because now she's shifting into a third version of herself, right? Into a different queen, a queen whose like heart is refreshed and open and loving and not guarded. I almost think, I don't know if she needs to say anything to him other than, I mean, maybe shoot back a message of like, you know what, it's okay. I got over the whole thing a long time ago. Maybe it's not true, but it is true now. She's over it because this is her so much lighter. This is her ready to go out and date somebody, chit chat with somebody, return somebody's call who's been trying to, ask her out on a date. I don't think it's them that she's responding to, though. I think it just says she's, in white and it's like this pure color, like she's been refreshed and she's on the phone and her heart is open. I don't know. Is it to talk to them or is it to just open her heart back up? 5 of Wands. It's a little bit of everything. I mean, maybe she will respond to them, but it'll be in like, I can finally let it go. I get it. I was important to you, but you weren't able to be the things to me that you should have been, that I would have expected, that I deserved. I get that. I can let that go. Maybe she's going to say, whatever the big melee was in your life, it's fine. Life gets busy, life gets crazy. And actually mine is right now, but joyfully so. I don't think she's holding any hard feelings or grudges. I think this is a chance to really clear the air and not overthink it and not need any more answers. Does this mean she lets him go or does she just let the situation go? 7 of Wands. I'm going to say this because 5s and 7s are both numbers of change, and we're wrapping this up with 5s and 7s. We can see this is all about transformation. And we can see that with her saying, look, whatever problems they had in their life, I have no idea. It sucks to think they were that burdened that they couldn't even pursue a love story that they wanted to have with me. But in truth, glad I'm not them. I mean, and with the 7 of Wands, there's a very good chance that they'll always still be embroiled. You notice how this person's like this rock star in front of like this crowd of all these people. And I described them earlier, like, did they think they had to be everybody's hero, Russian to save every family member, blah, blah, blah. I've heard, people make statements about like, if you fall in love with like a musician or something, it's like the world owns the musicians, right? The whole world loves the musicians. And so they'll always have fans and people around them. And so if you're in a relationship with somebody like that, it can be very difficult because it's like, it's not just you and me in a relationship, it's you and me and the entire rest of the world that lays claim to you. And that could be a very difficult personality to be with, depending on, your perspective. But I'm almost wondering if that's kind of the perspective to have of him. I'm not saying he was a rock star, but if he's always going to run to the aid of everybody else, she might be okay saying, it's a good thing we didn't end up together. You were right in, not pursuing things with me, because if I'm not really too keen on being the last person on a priority list because you feel compelled, you feel owned by the world, owned by all the family members, owned by everybody else's crises that you got to go help them out in. That might be your struggle in this life, to figure out, why do you always think you have to run and help everybody instead of actually, build some things in your own life? She may be free of thinking that they are the person she's supposed to be with, not because they're a villain. In fact, if anything, they're too sacrificial with their time, with their life. They're putting their own wants, needs, relationships on hold for every other person down here in the audience, or every other person at this melee, everybody else who needs help, everybody else who wants a piece of them. They think that they're responsible for everybody else's needs. That's not a villain. That's somebody who's kind of messing things up for their own heart and their own life. They're not going to build much for themselves other than everybody will say, good job, thanks for helping me out with this or with that. But they're not going to have a personal one-on-one relationship, certainly not with her. And that's kind of sad for them. But I wonder if this is what she's freeing herself from and realizing it's better off that I didn't end up with them. Maybe she's going to say something nice to them on the phone. Maybe this wraps it up, because maybe she's coming to that conclusion. You know what? This was a chance for me to heal. I realize they did love me, but for whatever reason, they don't love themselves enough to be able to pick for their own heart. They want to be a hero for everybody else. They cannot stop themselves from martyring themselves like this. Well, I'm glad I'm not ending up with them, because they would continue to martyr me and them for everybody else. And I'd rather go date somebody else that's, I can have an emotional bond with. I don't think she's ending up with him, but I do think now it makes more sense, doesn't it? Why this was an important message not to miss, and an important thing to chew on and contemplate, because this could have gone very badly. This could have gone with her feeling more hurt, more pissed off, more like, what the hell are you doing wasting my time? Instead, it's like, no, this is actually a way to understand it, heal it, and release it. And I think be glad that she's not ending up with somebody who, it would suck to be them, right? We can't even see their face. They wear this big old, carved, kind of like fish fountain. I actually have a fish head kind of like this. It spits water out. It's intended for a fountain, but it just feels like they're not even able to give to their own life the way they would like to. Let me ask one last question just for them. Oh my God, Alchemist 1111, thank you, sweetie. Thank you again. Alchemist 1111 just gifted 5 more memberships. Betsy Shackleford, Vida Fernandez, Jeannie Vale. Oh, sorry, Jeannie, I'm sorry. You were already a member. Excuse me, love. Zelda, Lillian, Grant's Modern Life. Welcome, everybody. You guys are all members, courtesy of Alchemist 1111. Thank you, guys. Welcome, honey. Alchemist 1111, you are too kind. Also, guys, don't forget on Friday of this upcoming week, I will be going live in both channels for separate segments where it'll be sometimes just for members and then sometimes members and subscribers. But we'll be doing storytellings all day, card pull storytellings for subscribers and members to celebrate the equinox and just to thank everybody in general for being amazing. I can't believe what an incredibly generous group this is. And thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Alchemist 1111, thank you so much, Angel. Thank you so much, Hamida Bano. All right, so what is the big message for him in this storyline? We have the world, we have the sun. Remember how we saw the world card before for him when I was pressing him saying, no, why did you walk away from her? Don't tell me it's because she deserved to be single and go live her life when you weren't going to be able to give it to her. But I was pressing him for no, why did you do it? How was it easier on you to have cut her out of your life? And they said, well, because if I just ended things with her completely, it would be better than trying to hang on to something, be frazzled, destroy it. Instead, I'd like to preserve it from maybe try again when I could give to this. And now the universe comes in and says the message for them was with the world card, if you really wanted to start it over again with her, you would have to be different yourself. You would have to not only care about her happiness a hell of a lot more than everybody else's crises that you were helping out with, but first and foremost, you need to be different. You don't get to restart things with her when it's convenient for you, when nobody else has a crisis at the moment, because it means it's next time there's a crisis, you'll drop her like a hot potato again and rush off to go help other people. The universe says the real new beginning, if you were ever going to have one with her, had to be if you changed. You can't put other people's happiness in front of your own. You need to ask yourself who makes you happy. And if it's her, then she should be your priority to make sure she's happy too. You have to sort this out for you. You can't say, when my life is settled, then I'll come back for her. No. You have to work on who you are and be different. And your happiness should count for something. And then the person that you love, that should probably be at the top of the list of who you are most considerate about. Am I happy? Is she happy? Are we happy? Now, other people's crises can come underneath that. But they've got to be able to do that for themselves. Otherwise, they'll never be a do-over with her. So let me ask one last question here. Were you, because I never really got to the point of, we saw her saying, I don't know what I would say to them. What do they want with me? What is she was like, I don't know how to respond. I don't know with that throat chakra card. I don't know what to say to them. And we kind of, I think, have gotten through that query. But for them, what was your real reason? life has calmed down enough and she's at the top of your mind and you love her. And the owls said, you need to reach out to her. But what was your real motive? What were you hoping for? Did you just want to say, love you? Was this just like, I don't know what I'm thinking about this, or what is this? We have the Magician, we have the Sun. So the real motive for him reaching out wasn't just because he feels like he screwed things up with her and maybe hurt her. The real motive was he was hoping to manifest happiness. The only catch-22, because the universe already said it to him, is, have you changed though? Because otherwise you're going to screw up your potential happiness. Even if she was like, sure, let's do this again. If you're going to drop her like a hot potato again to go rush off and martyr yourself for other people, guess what? There goes your happiness, flushed down the potty again. So I guess that's my bigger question is, are you different at this point? Because if you can't do that, I don't know how that's going to work. We have the Page of Cups. We have the Three of Swords. Okay, here's the thing that really sucks for him. When I say, is he different? He's devastated right now. He's sitting in a place of supreme loss. All that martyring that he did, all that running around to help other people and insisting he couldn't actually like do something that he wanted, be with someone that he loved. He's devastated. This is a really tough moment for him. And so this is less of an apology actually, and more of him wanting to say that, like, I'm the one heartbroken over you. I was in love with you. I'm the one heartbroken over you. It's like he needs to just be able to like express that. So it's not really the apology. This is the second or third time we've seen the Page of Cups for him. This is him telling the truth. And the truth is he's the one who's devastated over her through his own choices, admittedly, but he's devastated. He feels like he lost out on any chance at happiness. And he knows exactly who his happiness was. It was her. That makes a lot more sense also why the universe said, listen, you need to read this as a Queen of Wands. He's not writing this because you're a weird afterthought and he wants to, mess up your stride and, call you up after a couple of years after ghosting you just to mess with your mind. This isn't an insult. You need to not read it like an insult. You're freaking important to him. Read it the way it's intended. He's the one in like a very heartbroken space. So, that makes a lot of sense. We have King of Wands. This is him pouring out his heart. This is him possibly, I don't know if he'll be as blunt as I'm about to be, but it's like, if he had his life to do over again, he would have simply been the King of Wands to the Queen of Wands. That would have been like his magnum opus for this life, not running around to put out fires for everybody and their uncle who has, problems and says that, they've messed up their life. So, hey, can you come help me, brother, cousin, whatever relations all these people were to him. He wishes if he could do it all over again, he wishes he would have just been in this lifetime a King of Wands loving his Queen of Wands, or, Queen of Pentacles. She's been both things. That's why the universe is like, you have to receive this message and you have to receive it and actually hear it or read it the way it's intended. So chew on this and actually see what he's trying to say, because she needs to know this. That'll heal a lot in her. But yeah, his motive was he doesn't want to think that his chance at happiness is over. Let me ask one final question though. King of Swords, can you answer it truly? If somebody right now called you up and said, help, I need you, some family member gets themselves in more of a snit, what would you do? Would you once again be like, okay, gotta go? King of Pentacles, this is them saying, no, I would be very different this time. I would be a King of Pentacles to my Queen of Pentacles. I would be the King of Wands to my Queen of Wands. That's what I would be at this point. It's what I wish I had always been. It's who I would be now. So they believe that. Hang on, universe. Are they telling the truth? Sorry, but I got to ask the universe on this one. Nine of coins. Yeah, for the first time ever, they'd actually really like to have happiness. They feel better about themselves also, as far as like, I don't need to do everything for everyone to prove that I have some kind of value on this earth. Is there any chance of you fixing things with her? I mean, like, I guess what I'm asking is how much energy are you going to be pouring into this? That is so crazy. Brave Pink Hero Green. I literally, out of the blue, started singing that song yesterday in my car. I started a joke that set the whole world laughing, and then later on it's crying. And I was thinking in my head, because I was like, why is this song in my head? I haven't heard it in a long time. And I was struggling to find the words to it. And I don't actually enjoy the song, is the funniest part. And I was like, why am I thinking of this? That is so uncanny that you just brought that up. That is wild. Um, with that Ten of Pentacles and the Page of Swords, is there a chance? Are they really going to put in effort to, try? Because right now it looks to me like she's shrugging this off and saying it's all good, and I'm like letting it go, but I don't think she sees a future with them. I think she's just going to receive this message, going to think about it, and then kind of going to, say, I don't want to carry heaviness either. So I'm going to let this go. I'm going to let this off my chest. But I don't see her saying, like, and I can't wait to get back with you, or let's see if we can do this all over again. That would really be determined off of their actions. And here it says, look, they are prematurely aged as well. I think this person could be all gray from a huge amount of stress that they put themselves under. And even here, you notice how they sit like the dawn of the family, sitting on top of the tree that shows, all the rings of the family lineage, and then the family, mansion back here, and all the family members. I don't know if all of this boiled down to they were told that they have to carry on a family legacy, because I'm hearing the song Patches, which I love that song. Patches, I'm dependent on you, son, to pull this family through. Son, it's all left up to you. Oh, I always almost cry when I hear that song. Because every day I had to work the fields because it's the only way we got our meals. He sings it so great. You can just hear like, such a great song. But it feels like this person, this King of Swords, for whatever reason, was made to feel like they were the glue holding the entire like family lineage together. And have they changed? They have graduated. They have learned some things with that Page of Swords. They have learned that the lineage stops with them if they don't get to start, building a family of their own, a life of their own. I don't even mean like having children, but sitting here being the solo individual who's like, well, I helped the whole family stay together. I helped every sibling, every extended family member. But then what? You get to be the old bachelor who doesn't have anybody in your life because you blew it with the person you loved, because you wouldn't build with them, because you had to take care of all these knuckleheads. How is that a more honorable choice? Maybe these knucklehead family members need to work out some of their own crap. I mean, I get families helping each other out, but not at the extent of one's own life path. And here he is, prematurely aged. I think he's learned a little late in the game. You can be there for family, but within reason. You can be the dawn of the family and care about the family legacy, but within reason. You need to also think about your own legacy, your own life. So are you going to put in more effort to be with her? This kind of says that they're going to give everything they've got to her with that Ten of Pentacles. But the question mark is, will she ever turn back around and trust them? Will she ever come into their life? And he does not know if he could ever win her back. Again, if you're going to self-sacrifice and be like, I don't know if she'll ever, put everything you got into it. You can do it, put your back into it. Don't stop. We can get it. I'm sorry. It is time for some serious Ice Cube pump up music here. Oh, that song. I love it so much. And there's lyrics running through my head that I cannot say on YouTube. With that Knight of Pentacles, again, if he puts some serious effort into trying to be there for her, it is possible. But he's still saying, she may never and she'll probably still drift away from me. Then you know what? Let her go. If you're not going to put in this much effort, I'm fed up with this character. It seems at every turn they're going to keep self-sacrificing, find a new way to self-sacrifice. This time, oh, but I really, really want this. And I'm just like, then put everything you've got into it. You know, you put everything you had into everybody else. Why can't you do the same for her? You know, I'll probably never get her back. Well, you haven't done anything to get her yet. One little message that's about as weak an energy that you could possibly put out is to send a message. Ooh, what did you have to pay 50 cents for a stamp? Wow, that'll get her back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's such a jerk right now. I'm such a jerk. I this is not even Tuesday. I said one time, because I was really mean in a video, just like I am right now to this character. And I said it was like a Tuesday, and I said, "Oh, well, I'm gonna have to do a tough talk Tuesday because I'm only allowed to be a jerk one day a week, and let's call it Tuesday." But this is Sunday night, and I'm being a jerk. Maybe they need to hear that, though. You know, really, is a 50-cent stamp to mail a letter that your best effort, and if that doesn't get her back, oh well, too late. Or sending a text, you know, that's even less energy. That's, you know, tapping some letters with your finger on your cell phone, and if that doesn't work, I guess I can't have her back. I would say you did jack all to try to get her back, if that's as much effort as you're putting in. Okay, so all of my, and they're like, no, I am going to try. 6 of coins, I really am. Oh, for this poor character, here I am mouthing off about how it doesn't look like they're doing enough. It's not that. They'll put in the effort is what they're saying, but in reality, they don't think that they have, you know, snowball's chance in hell. And it is understandable why they would think that, but the reason I'm being so hard on this character is I want them to fight for themselves. I want to see them finally be happy, because they're cheating themselves out of happiness, and it isn't too late. They're alive. That's what the owls said. The owls were like, get your booty in gear and go talk to her. You have plenty of time. You're still alive. Don't count yourself out. Go talk to the person you need to talk to. That's what you're going to regret. And it seems like at every turn, since this person already martyred themselves, and then they're trying to turn that around because they have a lot of regrets over this, feeling like they wasted a ton of time, feeling like now they probably can't get her back. It's like they're going to go right back into another way to self-sabotage. And I don't want this character to self-sabotage. I know I sound rude, but I'm honestly fighting for this character, wanting them to put some effort in, show that you are there for her, show that you are there for you, show that this is what you want. Put some energy, as much energy as you used to put into fixing other people's problem, put it into your own life. Fix your own problems, since this is who you want and what you want. You're worth it. She's worth it. I think that this could be salvaged. I actually think there could still be a love story here. Admittedly, not great the way it all panned out, but there's a lot of good cards in this, and there's a lot of like deeper understanding, and there's a lot of, you know, our whole life on this planet is just spent trying to figure ourselves out, and we don't know how to do stuff. We're just here trying to sort it out. You know, we can't be expected to get it all right on round one, but that's all we kind of have is round one. Thankfully, we get a long life. And when we know better, do better. When we figure out what would make us happy and where we've been going awry, then course correct and then fight for that happiness. And I think that's what this whole story has been about. That's why it's like, don't miss this chance. Don't miss this message. Don't misinterpret this message. And then don't put the energy into send it and then just stop and be like, well, I guess nothing will happen. You know, if you're going to do it, put you back into it. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out. It's so nice to see you guys. I'm sending you lots of love. Sorry, I know. I hope you guys know I mean this in a fun way. I'm a narrator, but you got to have some pep here and there. Otherwise, it's going to be a monotone, boring story. So yes, if I were watching this movie and watching a character, I'd be chomping my popcorn all angrily too, and be like, what are you doing? So anyway, you guys, thanks for hanging. I'm not actually mad. I just have to put in a little spice to our storytelling. Otherwise, it would be boring anyway. Love you guys. Melissa, great to see you. RS, love you, darling. Thank you. Mystic Miner, thanks for being here, babe. Alchemist 1111, you're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you for tolerating me. Sweet, you love. Thank you, hun. Tries to go. Hey, babe. Jeannie Vale, it's always a pleasure to hang with you. You guys are so lovely. London 72, Wendy E. Oh, that's so awesome. Wendy, you said there's an owl that perches over your balcony door and talks to you and your cat every few days. That's awesome. I love that. Anna Mystic, hi. Thank you guys so much. Hi, Shikatsy. Nice to catch you, love. Hi, Glow. I know, Glow. I love that song. And I can't think of who sings Patches, but oh, his voice is incredible. Just incredible. And it is so like, oh, the way he sings the lyrics, like it completely rips at your heart, doesn't it? I Scorpio next. Thanks for being here. Good morning, honey. Hi, Danielle. You sweetheart. Thank you so much. You guys are incredibly generous with me. Trust me, I'm humbled every single day. Truly, naturally. Thank you for being here. Mystic Miner, thank you for the rose, love. And again, welcome to all of the new members, you guys. Don't forget, if you have time between, sometime between now and probably like tomorrow evening-ish when I go live in the members corner, if you have a chance, check out our latest members video from last week because that's where you can enter to win. Before I pull winners' names for tomorrow. So just so you know, you guys still have a little bit of time. Hey, good to see you, Brian. Here comes the sun. Hi. Ms. Bubble Fashion. Awesome to see you, honey. Moonbeam Wendy, thank you for being here. Here comes the sun. You're so sweet. Thank you. Hi, Tracy. Good to see you tonight, honey. Sweet dreams to you, RS Love. Mariah, Yvonne Garcia. Thank you again, Hamido. That was so sweet of you. Thank you, love. I will tell Aries you said hi. Hi, Ken. Juniverse, thank you, babe. Don't play about me. Thanks for hanging. Bridget, Harlem Divine. Hey, darling. Sacred Space. I'm delighted you made it to a live. Welcome, honey. I know, Ken, this was definitely a pickle. SLH. Oh my God, you guys, I'm thinking of everybody in those very snowy regions. I saw there like 10 to 30 inches of snow is what I read. I was like, oh my God, I've never even seen that much snow. I'm a West Coaster, but not and I'm in a mountainous area, but my whole life I've lived all throughout the West Coast and then into the Southwest, but I don't think I've seen that much snow, especially fall in a short span of time. It's just unbelievable. You guys stay safe, stay warm. I'm thinking about everybody out there. Godzilla MC. Nice to see you, honey. All right, I will check it out. I love it. Godzilla MC. I've seen it. Okay, I will check it out by Olivia Dean. Emerging Light. Thank you, honey. Amber Young. Judy Logan. Hey. Marina's Luminosity. Annette Summersby. Aquarian 8180. The Cataclysmic Awakening. Great to see you, honey. And hang on, the dreamed. Hang on, the dream. I'm just going to say the dream. And I'm so sorry that my eyes aren't breaking the rest of the name into the different syllables to create the words. I'm so sorry, but thank you for being here. I'm so glad to have you. I'm sorry that once in a while I'm so bad with saying everybody's name properly. Gabriela Ramondo, great to see you. Oh, Mystic Miner, that's awesome. That's your Canadian thing. You love snow. I love that. Canada's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I didn't spend much time there, but what time I did get to go, oh, it was spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. And I could imagine that would be beautiful to see that much snow there too. All right, you guys, sending you tons of love. I'm going to do a Cancerian video here next, and then we'll go live at midnight for the, well, I think I'll do it live. Anyway, we've got to do today's topic also. Mystic Miner, I have always wanted to see Niagara Falls. That has been on my list since I was probably about 15, and I have never made it over there. I've only been through Canada once, and I crossed in kind of like from the west, so I was not anywhere near Niagara. But oh, I definitely, that's on my bucket list. That is on my bucket list. Absolutely, babe. Absolutely. I was thinking about taking a drive over to New York actually this year. It's like it's tentative. We'll see. We'll see. But I love to roam. I love to roam. All right, you guys. Lots of love. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the Cancer video, or I'll see you at midnight on the other side. Bye, guys. Lots of love. Take care.